Hi, Flex. Can you just talk us through the two new picks in Hannah and Darcy?
Sure. Hello, LJ. How are you? Yeah, really pleased to give a couple of opportunities to both of those players. So, Darcy obviously had an outstanding WBBL and, fast bowler, bowling out swing at 17, nearly 18 years of age. An exciting prospect. I've seen her since she was 13 or 14 when I first saw her at the under 15 national champs. So she's always had that ball speed within her. I think she's improved her accuracy over the last sort of 12 months. But really exciting prospect, and I'm sure she'll enjoy the opportunity over there. Hannah, same thing. She's been involved in the pathway all the way through as well. Change up in pace, that sort of closing death bowler option. So with Delissa unavailable for selection, we thought Hannah would be a great addition, particularly for the T20s. That's the focus for Hannah. And it's a bonus with her leadership qualities as well. I've seen that in the pathway championship. She's captained the New South Wales Metro team. And obviously has been selected as the vice captain for the New South Wales team. I don't think they're particularly happy with me selecting her for this tour, but a great opportunity, and she'll grab it with both hands.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Delissa Kimmins. Is she just unavailable because she's been taking a break?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so still unavailable for selection at this point in time.
And with all the extra players, I guess, being fast bowlers, is that because of the quarantine situation when you can't bring over extra players? Is that the reason for having so many options?
Yeah, that's right. So part of the tour, we've got a charter flight leaving on the 13th of March. We can't bring players over after that. You've got to do your 2 weeks quarantine. So we did have to select a couple of extra players, and I guess we erred on the side of caution with a couple of those young quick bowlers. So Taylor Valamek coming back from a significant injury, that's a great story in itself, that she's had 12 months out of the game, but she's high risk. She's still coming back from that injury, and she's been managing her way through WNCL. But it's really exciting to see her take some wickets on the weekend. And obviously with Darcy, she's a young fast bowler as well. Annabelle Sutherland's still only 19 as well. So we've got some young bowlers coming through, and Elise Perry has also just returned from a significant injury and working her way back to full fitness. So we want to err on the side of caution there and have some backup bowlers and make sure that we've got that all covered.
Cool. Thanks, Flex.
No worries.
Thanks, Laura. Alex Malcolm, you got a question?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Hi, Shawn. Just a quick one. Has the delay of the World Cup by a year changed or adjusted your planning in any way in terms of giving some younger players another 12 months to develop and perhaps giving you more options? Is that something that you've had to sort of work through in your planning towards the World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, for someone like Taylor, who 12 months ago when she got that injury, you would have thought the World Cup was out of the question for her. But now, we're 12 months out from the World Cup. She gets an opportunity to go over to New Zealand and test her skills over there. It's another 12 months into players like Darcy and Annabelle, even Georgia and Sophie Molyneux. Another 12 months of international cricket is great for those players. So, we're not, whilst it was disappointing, to have this opportunity to go over and play some games in those conditions 12 months out from the World Cup is an absolute bonus. Whereas we wouldn't have been doing that if the World Cup was on right now. So, great opportunity.
Do you foresee a chance in these series to be, to experiment with a few options, given you've brought some youth in?
Yeah, possibly. I can't imagine we'll be able to play Taylor in all the matches. So, as I said, she's coming back from a big injury, and we're still managing her workloads. It's really important we see her as a really long-term player for Australia, and she's a high-risk athlete. I mean, you watch the way her bowl, it's exciting, but she's on the edge the whole time. So we want to make sure that she's still bowling for Australia in 10 years, hopefully. So we need to look after her and make sure she gets through this series. if that opportunity presents that we can give a couple of other players an opportunity to play in those games, we will. As I said, Hannah is more of the T20 focus for her. So we don't just have the one-day World Cup focus ahead of us in 12 months' time. We've also got a Commonwealth Games in 18 months' time, and the next T20 World Cup is about 2 years in February 2023 in South Africa. So we need to keep looking ahead, not just short term as well. So if the opportunity presents to play a couple of those young players, we'll certainly take that.
Thanks, Shawn. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, Alex. Scott Bailey, you're next on my list.
Sorry. G'day, Shawn. I'm not suggesting you're anywhere near the changing the guard point just yet, but just judging by your comments there and what I read in the release, and obviously the selection with Hannah with the view to 2022 and 2023, is it something that's now sort of in the back of selectors' minds that you don't want to be called out at some point in the future?
Oh, absolutely. You've got to be looking ahead. We've got an amazing team right now. It's a strong team. We've been able to introduce some young players over the last couple of years in Annabelle and Sophie and Georgia. Talia McGrath's had a couple of games here and there as well. But you've got to keep evolving as a team. You can't sit still. As the competition from around the world is going to keep getting stronger and stronger. You saw that Indian side with a few of their young players, Shafali Verma, 16-year-olds. So they're getting international experience. So it's important that our best young players get that international experience where possible as well. So that's going to be the challenge over the next few years. We've got, probably some of the best players in the history of Australian cricket playing right now. But at some point, the end comes for everyone. So we need to make sure that that team keeps evolving and keeps getting stronger. And that'll have to take place over the next few years.
And is there more of an emphasis on that now than there was, say, 2 years ago? I know you brought Georgia and Sophie in ahead of the World Cup in the Caribbean, but now that the World Cup at home is done and there was COVID sort of forced a bit of a break between that and your next tournament, is there more of an emphasis on it now than there was a year and a half ago?
Possibly. I just think we're seeing this wave of young players come through. They're getting experience in WBBL. We've had the NPS program going for the last couple of years. We've had an Australia A program going. That's been put on hold for this last year. So, we need to find opportunities for those next best players at an international level. So, there's players like Phoebe Litchfield who has done really well over the last couple of years in WBBL. She's obviously a player for the future. Young Georgia Vol has impressed already the way she plays her cricket. Lauren Cheadle has come back and has bowled really well in the back end of WBBL, and then those games last week against Victoria. So we've got. I just think we're really fortunate in Australia. We've invested really well. We've got some really good youth championship programs and the national performance squad that Leah Poulton ran for a couple of years. So the depth of talent in Australia is great. The challenge is finding, the right opportunities at the right time for those players. The plan is to get those Australia A programs back up and running, the national performance squad back up and running. It's been a tough year for a lot of those players who didn't get that opportunity in the last 12 months. But I think once we get those back up and running, we'll set ourselves up for not just a really good 12 months, but for the next few years.
Absolutely. If I could just go one more, maybe not so much in the younger end of the scale, but New South Wales were a little vocal over the weekend about hoping that Sammy Jo Johnson could find a way into a squad for the first time. Was she someone who was close and was much consideration given to her?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Sammy Jo's been a strong performer for New South Wales and Queensland for a long time now, and obviously she had a really good year for the Sydney Thunder. There's players like Erin Burns and Molly Strano as well, Heather Graham. There's really good players missing out. Tennille Pichel had a really good WBBL. Elise Villani, has scored hundreds just recently as well. So it's a tough squad to get into. But that's one of the great things about Australian cricket at the moment. It's competition for places, keeps improving performance, and you've got to absolutely bang down the door if you want to get a spot in the Australian team and stay there. So the players that do get the opportunity in those tours, they need to grab it with both hands, and because the players coming through are just getting better and better.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Thanks, Scott. Does anyone else want to jump in with another question? No. All right. Thanks for everyone's time. We'll distribute some VNR around shortly. Thanks also, Flags. And we'll speak to everyone soon.
Thanks,
problem.
mate.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, mate.